All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Bakar Kwadash. Excuse me. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. This is just gonna be a quick video, man. I was watching this video on Charleston White, and he was talking about what happened when all the things that he was seeing happen when he went to go and meet this YouTube guy, man, called Aiden Ross. And I've watched some of that footage, right? And he was going into how the other Jake there that this guy had around him was there, like, just being a stereotype image of what Esau thinks about Jake's, man. And how he was saying that his mom didn't teach him his grandmother didn't teach him no morals and all of this, saying his grandmother wouldn't call the police if her neighbor was having her house stolen from, which his grandmother ended up admitting that she would, right? Because all of our grandmothers, man, or anyone that's alive, right, that any man that's in his like 30s, 40s, 50s, right now knows that they probably used to go to church with their grandmother, man, and they know that their grandmother did tell them moral code, right, and was always telling them to be a good boy and all of that, right? But he was just there producing stereotypes. He was going into how he was pushing that Aiden Ross guy was pushing out a whole bunch of LGBT stuff, and then he ended up mentioning some next Edomite that was there, some next YouTuber guy, XQC, some weirdo, right? Some next weirdo, and he was talking about how he was sitting at the table when they was all eating dinner, but he said he didn't trust none of the food, and he was talking about how he was sitting down at the XQC guy, some tallish blonde Edomite demon, that how he was sitting down eating red meat, like eating a steak that was completely red, right, and pouring and putting ketchup on it. And he said he was eating it like a beast, man. And that just shows, man, that what we say about these people is true, man. Right? These people are Edomites. And the thing is that I found interesting about this is that Charleston White has seen enough Hebrew Israelite videos to scoff, right? So he probably started in his mind, but he's too late though for him, more than likely. But he probably was in his mind, you know what? These people are weird. And he thought that they was weird enough to leave and to not just accept all the BS that they was doing to him anyway. Right? Now, I'm looking for the particular scripture, man. And where Esau just ate the meat, man, raw. Like the demon he is. Where is that? I ain't read that. Okay, here we go. I ain't read this one for quite a while, man. Let me read this. This is Genesis chapter 25 and verse 29. And Jacob sod pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with this same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do me? And what Israelites we take this to say some of the time is that Esau wanted the food so desperately that he ate it raw, man, right? And we use that as an example. We use the whole meat thing as a small example as to whether somebody's an Edomite or not, right? That's a small one of the throw out tests that you can do to see if somebody's an Edomite or not, man, right? Just like how we jokingly will say, oh, can you dance? Because we know that every single Israelite can't dance like Michael Jackson, right? But it's a jokingly way that Israelites will throw out whether this person can dance, whether they can sing, you know. But every Jake can't sing. I know I can't sing. I know I can't sing, man. And I ain't dancing like Michael Jackson out here neither. I can hold a better rhythm than the Edomite though. I know that much. Now remember this, like the meat thing is used as a sign to show that someone's an Edomite, man. And in this video, about 54 minutes in, right, he mentioned that that's what that guy was doing, man. And it's a known common thing that Edomites do that. There's another guy on the internet, a YouTuber, a gym YouTuber. I'm trying to remember his name, man. It's like a fitness YouTuber. I can't remember his name. But he's got a whole YouTube channel based on eating raw meat, man. His whole channel, and he just takes steroids and all that, and his whole channel is based on eating red meat. But I can't, the name skips my mind, but it's a common thing about Esau eating their meat raw, man. And when you go to Genesis 25, watch this. Genesis 25 and verse 21. And Isaac entreated you. In fact, I'll go verse 20. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was barren, and Yahweh was entreated of him. And Rebekah his wife conceived, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? So she was like, well, if my husband Isaac has went to pray to Yahweh for me so that I can have a child, right? Then why is it seeming like this is a curse to me, right? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elders shall serve the younger. So the Israelites and the Edomites are completely different, man. And Yahweh took it so far to make them even be different images, right? Esau came out red, just like how he likes his meat, man. Whereas Jacob came out just like how the parents were, dark-skinned, right? Now, people don't have to believe that if they don't want to, but that makes perfect sense to me. And and people try and get confused and say, oh, how can one twin come out one color and one twin come out another color? If you look up twins that are fraternal, that one's so-called black and the other one's so-called white, you'll see that it's a lot more common than people think. If you go on the internet and look that up, you'll see it's a lot more common than people actually talk about, man. A lot more common. But when Yahweh did it to Jacob and Esau, he put extra things on it because he made sure that Esau was going to be able to maintain that and keep pushing out that mutation of pale skin throughout his lineage, man. Because if he didn't, there wouldn't have been no other Caucasian people. Yahweh made sure that it kept getting spread to future generations because everyone in the world was dark skinned at the time, apart from Esau. Right? They would have been different variations of dark skin tone. Verse 29. In fact, let me go verse 26. No, verse 25. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after this came his brother out, and his hand held hold on Esau's heel. Now, some people will say, see, that just shows that both brothers were red. Nah, they weren't, man. And how do we know this? Because when you go into the scriptures, right, and you end up hearing about Adam, right, you know that Adam was dark skinned. So people in that time was made from the ground, and where's the ground? What color is the ground, man? When it's fertile, to make things out of it. What color is that? What color is the most fertile ground to make things from? If when you're just planting a tree, you're looking for the most darkest fertile ground, how much more when you're making a human? But you people can say whatever belief system you want to have, because ultimately nobody can 100% prove what happened in the book of Genesis until Yahweh sends Yahweh Shai to reveal who is and who isn't telling the truth. So people can laugh at one person's variation of a creation story and laugh at another person's variation of a creation story. But I'm pretty sure everybody can agree that whatever the truth of the creation story is, it was a miracle that took place and turned nothing into everything that we see now. So how can you really laugh at someone's creation story, especially the Bible one, when how do you go about to prove the creation story? Who can 100% prove the creation story? They have to just explain what they think happened, right? And try and make sense to the best of their ability what they think happened. Because nobody can 100% prove that since we was not there. We've got the Bible to make sense of it, but we can't 100% prove it, man. Verse 29, and Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint, and therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. What profit shall this birthright do me? Which really, he wasn't at the point to die. And these Edomites love saying they're starving, right? If these Edomites miss a meal, right, they'll say, I'm starving. And then they'll go to whatever the closest drive-through is, right? And after 1 or 2 bites of their food, they might throw that stuff away, man, because they ain't starving. They just can't handle being hungry, man. These Edomites don't really know what it's like to be hungry and to struggle, man. And they couldn't even handle it back then when they came from a rich family. Esau came from a rich family, man. He had a great upbringing, just like Jacob's upbringing. But his stupid ass couldn't wait, and was talking about, oh, I'm at the point to die. He wasn't at the point to die. And you're trying to tell me that there wasn't no raw food around that he could have ate to where he didn't need to sell his birthright. You're trying to tell me that back then, during the times of Genesis, that there wasn't no apples around or no fruit or nothing, no herbs? You're trying to tell me there wasn't nothing around that he could have ate? But he saw what Jacob had, right? And he was coveting after it, man. And because of his covetous ass, he ended up losing everything. But now that you Edomites want to try and hate that we got it. But when you had the birthright, you didn't respect it. But then you thought you deserved the blessing. You couldn't even handle dealing with the birthright properly. Never mind the blessing, but neither were yours, really. And here's the proof, verse 23. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. So you're destined to be our slaves, man. You Edomites have got a disease that you tried to make up, some pseudo disease that you tried to say that we got. You've really got that drapetomania. You're really the slave that's trying to flee from being in captivity, man. That's really you. But they're the lies that you tried to push on us, man. But this was just a quick video going into how that meat thing, man, that red meat thing is a potential test to decide whether someone's an Edomite, man. It's not 100% correct. Obviously, it's not like a meat, how do you like your meat DNA test. But it does show, man. It is a sign of an Edomite, man. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kodash, Shalom.